Good evening. This is Skyla Sparks. I have a message to bring forward today for a specific group of twin flames. This is angelsflame.com. Today is the 30th anniversary from my resurrection from the dead. December 21st, I crossed over. December 23rd, I came back into the body after a meeting with the council. And tonight, I am guided to begin this channel. I have 3 messages to come through tonight. The first one is recognize the signs from above. If you are in the group meant to hear these words tonight, this message talks about focusing and staying alert to divine guidance which comes from above. So think through the idea of levels as if you are in a hotel room and you're walking around on one floor, and then you get into an elevator and you go up to the top floor. It is very likely that you are becoming very uncomfortable on the lower level floors, and even beginning to understand the archetypes that are passing away. These are the stories that have been passed on for many generations, thousands of years, that are retold. And humanity seeks in those stories meaning. And humanity focuses on moments that have taken place in the past that have shifted thought and the way of living. But those archetypes are passing away. And because you are aware of this in your spirit, it's becoming very difficult for you to look at the art of those stories, listen to people who speak of those stories, and even to feel in alignment with those who belong to those stories, especially in a spiritual realm. People who talk about what faith is, people who talk about what salvation is, people who talk about ascended masters, people who talk about Jesus Christ, people who talk about Moses, people who talk about mythology, Venus, Mars, the original twin flame blueprints. These are all stories that have been passed on and viewed as stories that are separate from who we are and purpose that we serve now, and connection that we are embracing with the heavenly realm today. To view yourself as separate from the heavenly realm does not work for you anymore. Your spirit is screaming out to have a higher perspective on what's happening right now inside of your being and beyond. So the conclusion to this is to tune in to heavenly message. This speaks of not what's coming through on the earth from voices, people, TV programs, social media, other speakers. But you're being encouraged to literally look up. And when you look up, whether your eyes are open or closed, you will receive at a soul level understanding, that there are signs right now coming through to you that need to be attuned to. The second message tonight is the power of prayer from your heart, not your mind. Prayer has power. And when you look up with the heart and you take all of the tentacles, energetic pathways of the heart off of your surroundings and everyone and everything that you've ever been attached to in the earth, and you point those tentacles all upward in prayer, allowing your heart to ask and to receive and to believe. The angels are literally with you when you pray. A message of Angel's Flame is the power of praying with fire. The smoke of the incense mixes with the prayers, the language of the heart, not in words, the vibration, the groans, the cries, the passion, the desire. The heart has a language that's outside of human confounds. When you pray with fire and you allow your heart to express itself in that sacred silence, that mixes with the smoke from the fire, and it is lifted up by the hands of the angels to the throne of God, where the council is, the keepers of life, the Akashic records, where the will of heaven connects to the will of the earth, and the windows are opened and you receive. Prayer is so needed at this time. The heart prayer. The third message tonight is the perfection of timing. Divine timing, not your timing. So you receive messages from above. Then you pray from the heart for wisdom, vision, understanding, and allow your heart to cry out for a higher perspective. And then you trust that all is in perfect timing. If there is something that comes through to you at this time, know this: perfect timing is now. What's important in this message is that if you are part of the group that was meant to be here, and if you feel heart connected to the message coming through right now, you already know what you are to do. You have been stirring over this for a long time. Could be years, could be decades. These messages from heaven have been sprinkling over you piece by piece by piece. And then you have reached out with your heart in prayer and asked for help. And tonight, the message is, this is it. It is time. It is time to do what your soul knows it has been led to do. There is a bonus message tonight that's coming through, and this is pertaining specifically to love. This is pertaining specifically to your twin soul or twin flame whatever you call this particular connection that has pulled on your heart, and in a sense almost felt like a distraction. The message that's coming through on that is Archangel Michael, even though you can't see it, is working on the situation and is here to help you with that. So the answer tonight is to trust that the angels are working on this, and then to focus back on what you know you are to do. This is important because so much energy and focus has been placed on this love, this connection, and something that felt like it was out of alignment or lost, or your soul has just been screaming, can you wake up? Can you connect to heaven and remember that there is something we are supposed to do together? And you're frustrated and you've tried everything and nothing's worked. So hand this over to the angels now. Hand this over to the blue sword of Archangel Michael, who not only has a blue shield over your heart and is protecting you at this time, but also has a blue sword of power and is fighting all things that have been attacking what is meant to be. Lay that aside. Trust the powers of heaven. Trust the divine plan of God. Trust the angels. Don't pull away. Don't lean in. Don't push. Don't control. Trust. Trust that it's in the other room. It's not missing and it's not gone from you. And it is being handled, perfected. And if something comes up that changes that dynamic, you will be guided at that time. For now, set it aside and trust it's still there and it's being perfected. Then turn your gaze back to what you know you are called to do, what you have agreed to be a vessel to bring forth. Whatever that is, only you know, because you have received specific instructions about your unique path, purpose, and design. This message came through to me after a day spent going through a very strange timeline inside of an art museum. It spoke to me very specifically about the life path of climbing up a mountain with a group of people, let's call it the collective humanity, in the direction that everybody goes. And then once there, inside of those rooms, seeing how everything in humanity's collective is the way it is from very ancient programming and archetypes, and there's nothing wrong with them. They were all perfect, divinely ordered by time. But now they're passing away. And then leaving that place and leaving those rooms, going outside up to the very top of the mountain and looking up at the stars, looking up at the sky. That's when I found something that connected with me. That's when my soul began to receive and hear and understand. And then the very last experience I had today led me back down to the site of all that was, into a garden. And Spirit was telling me, this is the Garden of Eden. This is going back to the very beginning. But you can't go straight there. You have to go through all these other rooms. And then once you've went through every single room, then you have to find the light and leave that place. Follow the light, and it will take you higher. And that is where you connect completely. That is where you receive wisdom. That is where your heart seeks answers. That is where you find the connection. That is where you find all that you need to know. And only after that process, that divine alignment, that is completed, then you will be walking in the direction where you are following the spirit, not the flesh. And you will be led to the gates that open up before you. And that is the return of perfection to the heart, to the love that you were created to be and experience and enjoy. That is the garden. As I'm staring at the angel's flame, I'm being guided to talk about the colors. You see, at the wick, it's a blue color. And then in the middle, it's an orange color. And then at the top, it's a bright white color. And this is where our connection comes from. The blue also represents the color of Archangel Michael and the sword. So embody that blue in your physical form just to know that you are divinely protected. And the fire inside of you, formed from the wick that has been lit by spirit, has a direction that points upward. You are that flame walking around inside of a divine layer of protection that circles around you. And your light reaches up to the heavens. And as you reach higher and higher, it becomes more pure. That is where the pureness of you, your being, your spirit, finds its essence of authenticity. The flame does not reach out to the left or to the right. It doesn't reach behind it. It doesn't reach in front of it. And it does not reach under itself. It looks up. It points all of the tentacles of its heart and of its being upward. And when it does that, it burns brighter and brighter and brighter. This is the return to purity. This is the walk in authenticity of the Spirit. This is the full remembrance of who you are by connecting to who you are, which is one with God and one with the Council of Lights. This is your mind in the Spirit. It is not in the earth plane. This is the wisdom that flows down to you when you reach for it. This is the truth of what it means to be a flame. The heart that seeks upward. Because that is the beginning and the end of all things outside of time. That is the absolute truth of all things, regardless of what your eyes in the human body will tell you, or what's taking place in the physical realm. All that you're seeing in the physical realm is an echo. What belongs to now and tomorrow and eternity can only be found upward. Prayer. Look up. Seek and pray with a heart. And know that it's time to take action based on the wisdom of above. Everything else will work itself out. The angels have everything under control. December 23rd, angelsflame.com. Good night.